video to talk about some of the basic things that you need or should have on the truck when you first get started and get out here. And this could go for a straight truck, tractor trailer, cargo van, any of those things. So I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks, trying to come up with a list. You know, there's a lot of things that some people may think you need and others don't. So I kind of came up with a basic list of some things just to get you started out here. Now this list isn't all inclusive. There's things that aren't on this list that we have on the truck that we had gotten after we'd been in the truck for a while. So I just wanted to kind of keep this basic and some simple things that you probably would want to have or get before you get in a truck to have when you're first starting out. So since this is kind of a basic list to start out with, I'm not going to go into great detail on some of these things that I'm talking about. Some of the things we'll do some separate videos on, because there are some things like, say, a trucking GPS that we could do a whole video on and just talk about that. So I don't want to go into really great detail. This is just going to be kind of a quick run over a list of things that you should get. So I've got some notes here, the list that I made. So I might keep looking down. I apologize, but I want to make sure that I get everything I have listed here. And again, this list is not all inclusive. So let's get into it. And this is in no particular order. I kind of just jotted some things down as I was thinking about them. Jason helped me with this and we kind of brainstormed on it. So let's get started. One of the first things that you need is a good pair of gloves. Now, if you're a team, I would have 2 pairs. Even if you're a solo, I would probably have at least 2 pairs of gloves, just so you have a backup. Those gloves, you know, you need those for fueling. They're good to have when you're opening and closing your doors, when you're loading and unloading freight. So a good pair of gloves is really important to have on the truck. The next thing I have written down is a binder. We keep all of our permits, our insurance, our truck registration, those kind of things, when we get DOT inspections, we keep all of those in a binder. So I have a hardcover binder, and I just have everything kind of in these sheet protectors slotted in there, and it's all nice and organized. Because if you get pulled in for an inspection or go through an inspection station and they want to see your paperwork, it's always nice to have it nice and organized for them. It just makes your job easier. It makes it easier on them, and they'll get you in and out of there quicker. So a good binder for paperwork is really nice to have. The next thing I would suggest having is a clipboard. That's always nice to do. You can take that in and out to deliveries and pickups, so you can have your paperwork on it. The one that we have, it has a little opening here so you can keep things inside, which is really nice. So you have everything together. You can keep pens and papers in there and take that in with you, and it's a great thing to have and be able to write on. Keeping kind of in that, pens and paper. You know, we keep extra pens. You always want to have pens. We keep these little yellow, not legal, but the little yellow pads. We have one I write all of our jobs on when we get a job. I write all the information down. These are real inexpensive. You can get them at Walmart, and even I think I've seen these at the dollar store. You can get them like a pack. They come in like a pack of 5. But you know, whatever kind of pad and pencils you want to use is fine. But I would definitely have paper and pens on the truck. Paper clips, I would also have that. We have a stapler as well. So that's just kind of some basic office supplies I would have when you're first starting out. Also a calendar. We keep, TA has free calendars a lot of times. Speedco, they're little calendars. We keep one up here in the front so we can see what day it is. I also keep a bigger one in the back in the sleeper for when I'm doing paperwork. So a calendar is a good thing to have. You know, your phone has calendars on it. If you want to use that, that's fine. I just like keeping track of days. Like, you know, if we're on home time, I like to write that on the calendar. So when I'm doing our paperwork at the end of the month, I can look back and see what days we were out, what days we were home, things like that. So a calendar is a great thing to have. The next thing I would say you should really have is a trucking GPS. That's one of the most important things you need to have. And it needs to be a trucking specific GPS. If you're going to be in a straight truck or a tractor trailer, if you're in a cargo van, you can use probably a regular GPS. You really don't need a trucking GPS. Now, I don't know if you're in a cargo van and doing hazmat though. A regular GPS probably wouldn't give you hazmat routing. So that may be something to consider too in a cargo van, but a really good, reliable trucking GPS. And again, that's something we will do a whole video on, just about trucking GPS and kind of talk about those. The next thing I would suggest having is a safety vest and glasses. And I kind of talked about that in my what to expect when you go to shippers videos, but a safety vest and safety glasses, there are a lot of shippers that require you to have those when you go into their docks and receivers, so you really need to have that. A padlock, a good padlock, you need that for your doors on the back of your truck. You know, some places will give you seals, some don't. You really need to have that padlock though. It's important to keep that load secured. And we also keep it on the truck even when we're not loaded. You know, you never know, some of these truck stops you go to, you don't want somebody getting in and stealing your load bars and straps or anything you got back there while you're sleeping. So a good padlock or two, have a backup. You know, it took us a while to find a really good padlock that works. Some of these cheaper padlocks, when you're getting into the winter time and you're going up north where they use a lot of salt and road stuff to keep the road clear, that'll get up in that padlock and lock it up. So WD-40 works great to fix that, but some of the cheaper ones aren't really good. So a good padlock, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but get a decent one. Don't get the cheapest one you can find. WD-40, that's also a great thing to have on the truck. A broom. Now, we keep a broom in the back of the truck because you want to keep the box of your truck or trailer cleaned out. You know, when they're loading, unloading pallets, sometimes it gets wood in there, little wood shards. There's, you know, can get nails, just general dirt gets in there, and you want to have a broom to keep, so you can keep that swept out. Another great thing to have is a flashlight. Have a good flashlight on the truck. Also, we have a ladder that we keep in the back of the truck. Now, that's something you don't need right at first, but it is good to get eventually, because we like to have that. You know, if there's lights on the top of the box that need changed out, you know, it's nice to have that ladder. We can get up there and do that ourselves. We don't have to take it to TA and have them charge an arm and a leg to our owner to change those out. So a ladder's good to have. Again, that's not something you really need right at first, but something to consider later on. Rags and paper towels. Some rags for when you're checking the oil, paper towels so you can keep your windows and mirrors clean. Along with that is Windex. I would have a bottle of Windex starting out so you can keep your windows, mirrors, things like that clean. A good hands-free headset. Again, I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. This isn't in any particular order, but a hands-free headset. You really have to have that on the truck. It is illegal to use your phone without a headset when you're driving a commercial vehicle. So a good headset, and we can do a video on the ones that we use. We use two different ones. Jason has one that he likes, and I use a different kind that I like. So we'll do a separate video just on some of the headsets that we use. So important, a hands-free headset for your phone. Some of the things on the truck that should come with the truck when you either purchase a truck or if you're driving an owner's truck, some of the things that you should have on there: straps and load bars. We talked about that in the securing freight video. Some trucks will come with a pallet jack, dolly, blankets. I know the FedEx white glove teams, those are required on the truck. We're not required to have those. So in this truck, we don't have a pallet jack or dollies. In our last truck, we did have that. But again, that's something that will probably come with your truck, or if not, they'll tell you if you're going to be required to have that with whatever particular carrier you're with. Another thing, fire extinguisher and triangles, that's something that should come with your truck. That's not something that you should have to go out and buy when you get a truck. So that's going to come with your truck. If not, you know, some of the loads we do require us to have 2 fire extinguishers, so we did have to get an extra fire extinguisher, but most of the time 1 fire extinguisher is all you're going to need. Extra fuses. You're going to need to have extra fuses, light bulbs for headlights, tail lights, anything like that. Some extra oil is good to have. So, you know, when you're checking your oil, you might have to add a little oil, and window washer fluid is also a good thing to have an extra bottle of on your truck. An extra set of windshield wipers is a good thing to have. And all of these things that I'm saying you should have extras on, the fuses, light bulbs, things like that, that is stuff that an officer can ask you to see on an inspection. So you really want to make sure you have those extra things on the truck. A tire gauge, that's another thing that I would have on the truck first starting out. You want to be able to check your tire pressure on your tires. That's very important. So a good tire gauge. A dash cam, again, another thing, you know, some people may debate that, but that's really a good thing to have when you're first starting out, a good dash cam. There are some GPSs that come with a built-in dash cam, and again, that's another thing we can do a whole video on separately, talking about some different dash cams and what we use for that. So a dash cam. A good pair of sunglasses, you know, that's a good thing to have out here. Some of the basic, just regular tools you should have starting out. You know, I'm sure some of you are really handy on fixing things, so you may want a lot of tools on your truck, but just basic things starting out, just some basic tools like a screwdriver, some sockets, a wrench, some wire cutters is a good thing to have. You know, just some basic things, a hammer, to get started out with. Now, as you go, you know, if you're wanting to do more things and you own your own truck, you know, you may want more other tools. You know, there's a lot more tools that we have on the truck, but just starting out, a few basic tools are good to have so you can do some simple things on the truck. Now, keep in mind, on a Freightliner, a lot of the screws that they have on these Freightliners inside, it's not a regular screwdriver. It's a special kind of star tool that it takes. So we have this, and it fits these little screws that they have, and this came in just like a basic tool kit, so it's not like you have to go out and buy a special expensive tool for that. But just keep in mind, on the Freightliners, you may need that for some of the things in the cab to tighten some of those screws up. And the last thing you probably want to have on the truck is tire chains. Now, again, this may be something that comes in the truck if you're driving for an owner and it's not a brand new truck that somebody's already been in it. They may have already gotten these on the truck. But tire chains, you really are going to have those if you're going a lot of places out west. They require you to carry chains on the truck at certain times of the year, and there's chain laws that you have to follow, and you know, you have to have those on your truck at certain times. If you get pulled over and they ask to see those and you don't have them, you could get ticketed for that. So tire chains, that's really the last thing that I have written on here. And again, like I said, this list is not all inclusive, and I'm sure there may be some things that I didn't think of that I left out. And that's why I ask, if y'all are watching, if y'all have any other suggestions of things that people may want to have on the truck when they're first starting out, leave it down in the comments for other people. I'd appreciate that. I know other people would, if there's things that you can think about that I left out. So again, just a quick basic list of some things that I could think of when you're first starting out, and as you go, you know, that stuff you'll add to that list. So I hope that helped if you were kind of wondering some of the basic things to have. And again, always, like I say, if you have any other questions, email us, comment below, find us on Facebook. We'll be happy to answer those questions if we can. And if not, we can direct you to where you can find the answers for those. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And as always, have a great day. See you in our next video. Bye.